hundreds of thousands are finally protesting America's descent into madness. Yay!
Except it might be too late. The markets are yo-yoing, democracy's been throttled, and Trump's rich friends are laughing all the way to the bank.
So Trump drops a 100-country-plus tariff bomb, crashes the markets, and then hits pause 48 hours later.
That's not foreign policy, that's market manipulation. It's like he's running the White House like a penny stock pump and dump scheme.
And right before the tariffs were lifted, what did he say? It's a great time to buy. Sure, Don. You totally meant that for the average working American and not your billionaire golf buddies.
Then he stands in the Oval Office, smug as ever, and brags, literally brags, about how much money his friends made off the chaos he created.
One of them, Charles Schwab, made $900 million. The other, Roger Penske, $2.5 billion. And the President of the United States pointed at them like he's hosting Wheel of Misfortune. Congratulations, Roger, you made $2.5 billion. Well, the rest of the world got shafted.
Meanwhile, back in the real world, workers at a GM plant are getting laid off and families are panicking. But Trump's laughing with his billionaire bros while your retirement account bleeds.
This isn't leadership, it's profit theater. The tariffs weren't about protecting jobs, they were about padding portfolios.
And Canada, we're caught in the blast radius. Our economy takes the hit, our exports get squeezed, and our industries get whiplashed because America can't stop electing chaos merchants.
Meanwhile, here in Canada, Pierre's pretending he's playing sold-out stadiums while only 4 carefully curated reporters are allowed to ask questions. No follow-ups, no surprises, just the illusion of transparency.
Most Canadians don't support Trumpism, but if we split the vote again, we're handing the keys to someone who acts like him, talks like him, and hides from the press like him.
Let's be blunt. Canada is one bad election away from having its own Trump.
PP is feeding the same rage machine that Trump built. The slogans, the culture war buzzwords, the press restrictions. It's a carbon copy, except with fewer vowels and more smugness.
These movements don't run on logic, they run on anger. The kind of anger that history has already warned us about. Hitler didn't take power because people were thinking clearly. He took power because they were pissed off. And someone handed them a scapegoat.
Right now, that rage is being funneled into blaming immigrants, woke ideology, plus anyone who dares to suggest basic decency. Just take a look at the Conservative Party's election platform. It reads like a blueprint of the Trump administration.
Here's just a taste of what's in that playbook. They want MPs to have free votes on moral conscience issues like abortion, marriage, and euthanasia. That means rolling back your rights becomes a personal choice for any MP with a deeply held belief, all while pretending it's about democracy.
They also want to override court decisions with Parliament, including the use of the notwithstanding clause to bypass the Charter of Rights. They said they want to gut the Canadian Human Rights Commission while they're at it too.
And don't forget the pensions. They want to ditch secure public pensions and replace them with private-style investment accounts. Because, nothing says support for working Canadians like throwing your retirement onto the roulette table.
Here's the wake-up call. Most Canadians lean center or left. But when the left splits between Liberals, NDP, Greens, and then Quebec adds another wild card with the Bloc,
Pierre could win with just 36% of the vote, which means that nearly 2/3 of Canadians could vote against him and still wake up with him as Prime Minister.
That's why sites like smartvoting.ca exist. If your riding leans NDP, but the Conservative candidate has a real shot at winning, smartvoting.ca shows you exactly how to stop that. It's not about giving up your values, it's about defending them. If your riding leans NDP and the Conservative candidate's not a threat, great, vote with your heart.
But if the right can win in your riding and your conscience tells you not to risk it, this is your moment. One vote could be the difference between Canada and Canada as a 51st state. You can protest with a sign or you can protest with a ballot because rage candidates rely on people staying divided.
And if we don't work together, we'll be waking up to a Canada that we don't recognize. Tell your friends, tell your family. This is not the election to get comfortable. You want climate action? Healthcare? Basic human rights? Great. So do we. But none of that happens if Pierre Poilievre wins.
If Mark Carney becomes prime minister, we'll have 4 years to hold him accountable, to demand better, because there will be a system to work with, a government that functions.
But if Poilievre gets in, you don't get 4 years. You get a culture war. You get Fox North, since he'll dismantle the CBC the first chance he gets. You get Trumpism without any guardrails.
Danielle Smith is already testing how far they can go. And Pierre, he's watching and learning. They want to dismantle the country for their gain. They want chaos because it keeps you too distracted to stop them.
So if you care about Indigenous rights, affordable housing, mental health care, climate, media freedom, and even universal health care, this is your line in the sand. This is where we vote smart or we hand it over.
Let's talk about Pierre Poilievre on the campaign trail for a minute. It's like TED Talk gone rogue, rehearsed, rigid, and aggressively allergic to the media.
He's playing Trump's playbook to the T. 4 pre-approved questions, no follow-ups.
And the crowd size lies? The chef's kiss. He claims 15,000 people showed up in Edmonton. The reality? About 1,500. That's not a typo. That's a fantasy.
For context, the Canada Life Centre in Winnipeg holds 15,000 people for a hockey game. Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, 19 to 20,000. Unless Pierre is cramming people into coat closets and ceiling vents, he's lying through his teeth.
Now, to be fair, and we always are, Mark Carney had a rally too. He said there were 1,500 people there, but it was more like 700.
Yes, Carney embellished too, but there's a big difference between rounding up and straight up launching your own fantasy league.
Poilievre lives in an alternate reality, and the scary part is he's dragging the press into it.
When real reporters try to ask real questions, he ignores them and calls them protesters. Not just brushes them off, but completely ignores, because they're not on the pre-approved list.
He's auditioning to be prime minister, but only if the audition room is soundproof and the judges are already in his pocket. The world is finally saying it out loud. We are done playing America's games.
This week, China came out and called Trump a fool, not behind closed doors, on record. They said they're not entertaining his tariff tantrums anymore. Translation, we're not afraid of you, Donnie. While Trump plays dictator and crashes markets, Canadians have been quietly leading by example. We've been boycotting the US for months. We're not crossing the border. We're not spending our money in a country run by chaos.
We're buying Canadian. We're traveling Canadian. And guess what? The rest of the world is finally waking up and doing the same. Turns out, Canada was ahead of the curve. Again.
And no, it's not about hating Americans. It's about loving ourselves enough to say no to instability, to put our dollar where our values are. It's about taking a stand without ever picking up a sign.
Trump wants global domination. We want local empowerment, and we've already started. Canadians are pushing for interprovincial trade, making it easier to support local, grow businesses, and stop relying on imported chaos. And meanwhile, Trump's playing reverse psychology chess on us from across the border. You saw him try to endorse Mark Carney, right?
Please, that wasn't an endorsement. That was the same move that moms use when they want their 5-year-old to eat their broccoli. No, sweetie, don't eat it. It's yucky.
He knows exactly what he's doing though, right? He wants to sabotage Carney because Carney's the one guy with the international chops to stand up to him. The guy who handled the last economic meltdown while keeping Canada out of a recession.
And here's the part that should have every Canadian, right, left, or center, concerned. Pierre Poilievre still doesn't have top secret clearance. He refuses to get it, and his supporters, they say they don't care.
But here's why they should. Every prime minister gets classified briefings. Intelligence on cyber threats, foreign interference, military operations. It's not optional, it's national security.
Poilievre wants to run the country, but doesn't want to be briefed on how to protect it. Why? What's he hiding? Or worse, who's he protecting? We already learned that India interfered in his leadership race, but he didn't have security clearance, so hey, He got to wash his hands from that one and say, I had nothing to do with it.
Plausible deniability.
This isn't about party politics anymore. This is about whether we hand the keys to someone who won't even open the door to the intelligence office. GM layoffs are devastating. Let's not sugarcoat that at all. But here's the difference with Canada and the US. We at least have safety nets. Carney just waived the 1-week waiting period for EI. Families affected by this, they don't have to wait in fear.
In America, you get laid off and pray to GoFundMe. In Canada, you'll get EI. And if your kids get sick during that time, you won't go broke just taking them to the hospital. That's the kind of leadership we're fighting to keep.
And this isn't just about politics anymore. It's about who we are as Canadians and what kind of country we want to wake up in 4 years from now. We're not pretending it's going to be easy. The next few months, they're going to be tough. The economy's shaky, the world is tense, and the politics are exhausting.
But with the right leadership, with a steady hand and a plan grounded in reality, not rage, we will get through this.
Canadians have done it before. We held strong during COVID. We led on climate. We supported Ukraine when others wavered. And now we're taking a stand again.
We don't need performative rage. We need calm, competent leadership. And we need each other. This moment isn't about one person. It's about what kind of country we still believe in.
Canada's at a crossroads. Rage is knocking at the door, wearing a fake smile and borrowed slogans. And if we don't get smart, it's going to walk right in.
So this is it. Vote smart, vote strategically, go to smartvoting.ca, check your riding, and share it with friends, your family, your coworkers. Don't assume that it's under control, because if we don't show up, we don't just lose an election. We risk losing the Canada that we believe in.
So let's stand up, lock those arms, and keep those elbows up. Let's keep this country ours.
Because once rage takes hold of power, it rarely gives it back. Are you making sure to get out and vote this year? Let us know if you're registered to vote and ready to go.
And if you love these political videos, stay tuned every Sunday for more politics and lots of fun. And on Tuesdays, check out our travel videos where we're going across Canada to show you the beauty of this nation.